Hey, what's going on, Recovery fam? Excuse me. It's Aaron here again. It's my birthday today, so I'm excited. I'm going to be hanging out with basically my brother, but my best friend, Kevin. He's never been into like opiates or anything, so we're gonna go out and I don't know, feeling kind of lucky today, so I might play a couple slots or something at the casino, but that's about it. I'm doing good today. I'm sorry that yesterday I wasn't able to post the first science series video. I actually had kind of like an emotional day, and I actually made a video of it, but I didn't end up uploading it. I might, it was just kind of personal. So, I don't know, I might, but let's get into the first science series video today, which is basically going to be covering not just the brain and how it works in corresponding with addiction, but in more specific, the teenage brain is what I'm going to be covering here. A little bit of both, but mostly the adolescent brain, we'll say. So this first little bit of info here I got from a guy named Amir Levine. He's a psychiatrist and neuroscientist, so the real deal. And he says, quote, "The teenage brain is primed for addiction." And that could not scream so any more true to me than it does. That's so true. Literally, it says here, beginning the use of illicit drugs before you are 18 puts you at roughly 25% chance of becoming addicted. Now get this. Starting the use of illegal drugs at age 21 or over, you are only at a 4% chance of later becoming addicted. So that right there is a good example of already how the teenage brain is, it's not fully developed yet. So you're not only slowing it down by using drugs, but you're dampering the process and making it harder to happen, and maybe in some cases not happen. And we're going to get into that. So basically, the difference between a minor and somebody that's 21 to 25 is the minor, their DNA structure isn't fully solidified yet. It's getting there, but it's not there yet. So that's just to give you a little bit of an idea. And this, I started using as a teenager. That's no secret, and it's 90% of people do. Either alcohol, marijuana, whatever. You're predisposing yourself. You're affecting your brain already. And one thing I realized, like growing up, like now I realize that I didn't have very much self-esteem, even though I was, pretty decently popular, good at sports. I wasn't happy with me. And so listen to this. This kind of explains me. In the brain, you need a good self-esteem, basically. Any person that uses drugs, that gets addicted to drugs, I'm going to say has some sort of self-esteem issue. And self-esteem is developed by two interactions. The first type of emotional development or self-esteem is emotional interaction. So, for example, like feeling good, proud or satisfied with yourself, especially like around people. And this is the one that I'm lacking really bad. Cognitive interaction. Example for that is like ideal cognitive interaction it includes getting like a good test grade or standing up in front of the class and doing a problem on the board and getting it right. That's what I didn't have. I had teachers pick on me because they knew that I was shy and didn't want to go up, and I would purposely skip those classes, just because it embarrassed me. I didn't want to deal with that. So the cognitive interaction part, when my brain was still in the adolescent stage, I didn't grasp that. That never happened for me. So already, you know what I mean? I'm predisposed to addiction, and it has to do with my brain. So a quick, kind of brain function layout. There's two parts of the brain. I mean, there's a lot of different parts, but there's two main parts of the brain. The first one is the limbic areas. That's in charge of your emotions, basically. And the prefrontal cortex, which is in charge of, like, reasonable thinking or rational thinking. And those are two things that that are developing, but the most crucial, they're developing throughout your whole life. But it's the most crucial in the adolescent stage. That's why you want to try your hardest to not be using drugs that early. the two most important changes in a teenager's brain or an adolescent brain, the two most important changes that get affected directly by drugs and alcohol is two different processes get hindered here. The first one is called pruning, and it's basically the process, a process in the brain in which unused information is eliminated. Okay, so that's the first one that really gets affected. And myelination. Myelination is actually a chemical in your brain that gets distributed through your, from your brain throughout your body, and it allows for more efficient communication between your nerve cells and resulting in a higher quality of thinking. Myelination, the production of myelination in your brain while you're using, before you are 21, 25, it's going to get hindered no matter what, but it means the most. You're going to be lacking the most if it's, before you were even 18 abusing drugs. Pruning and myelination are literally, what makes somebody go from an immature teenage kid to a mature adult. You know what I mean? So, one second here. Yeah, right here it says, the adolescent brain is particularly vulnerable because of the complex process such as pruning and myelination that are changing the teenager's way of thinking, which means the adolescent brain is obviously more sensitive to addiction. So here we're going to go just a little bit more in depth. I researched because it has to do with your DNA structure basically. Long story short, that's a very vast topic, but I'm going to show you guys the difference between an adult 21 and over DNA structure and a minor who is, less than 18 or maybe even 18. So here's the DNA structure for a normal, for an adult 21, 25, what it's probably going to be. You see how they're all connected? 3 on top, 4 on the bottom. That is the DNA structure for an adult 21 and over. And that's also called compact DNA or fully solidified, fully matured, basically. Here's a minor's DNA structure, 18 or less. Pretty big difference, right? You can see that none of them are connected. They're in no way close to being fully developed. So basically what my point is here, you can see that the teenage brain is already not going to be able to handle, you're making yourself more susceptible to being addicted in your 20s and 30s and for the rest of your life because your DNA structure isn't fully made up yet. And when you're using these drugs, maybe the processes that need to happen are still somewhat happening, but not like they should be. That's why people say, if you're a week clean, then you're 1 week old. You know what I mean? Because you're starting to grow again, and that can be very overwhelming. And that was kind of a little bit rough, but I just wanted to do it and get it out there. And I think it's something that I'm going to go ahead and do at least once a week, maybe a couple times a week. Because I'm going to get better at it, for one, so bear with me. And, it helps. I got to start studying anyway, so why not? So maybe you guys let me know, some topics or whatever that you would like to see covered more in depth. And I'll always try my best to cite where I got my information, all that. So that's about it. I'm going to get out of here. I don't know. I think Kevin should be here anytime. So, yeah, I hope everybody's having a good day. I will probably see you guys tonight. I might make a video while we're out or something, but I won't be able to upload it until I get home. So, I'll see you guys later tonight. Much love, Recovery fam. Peace.